بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق نذيرا ومبشرا بين يدي الساعة إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. قال الله تعالى في قرآنه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. Allah just sends the angel with the book with all the instructions, and then he will tell everybody just read it and follow it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to send the Prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentions about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that قَدْ جَاءَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that indeed there come to you from Allah a light and clear book. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say that we send only the book, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we send the light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a light. But it doesn't mean he was created from a light. Unfortunately, nowadays there are a group of people, they think that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not a human being, he was created out of light. No, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is created just like everybody else as a human being, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was light as a guidance, because the light for us, it shows our path, where we're going. If it's dark, there's no light, we don't know what's in front of us, where we're gonna go, which side we're gonna go, how we're gonna walk, what is the road. We need light for that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Kitabun Mubin, it's a clear book. It's a clear book. There's no doubt that the Quran is a clear book, that everything that's right and wrong is in there. But unfortunately, our understanding is corrupted. If you see among all the groups of those groups who got misguided, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that my nation, my ummah, will be 73 groups. One of them is in Jannah, 72 of them in hellfire. All others except one, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, all others gonna be misguided. But if you look at the proof for those groups, regardless if they are Shia or Mu'tazila or Khawarij or Murjiya, other groups, Qadariyya, Jabariyya, if you look at them, none of them they said that we're gonna create our own religion. All of them they said that we are following Quran and Sunnah. They all said we are following Quran and Sunnah. If you ask them why you believe like this, it's wrong belief, he says no, right there Quran is said, it's written there. Just like that group, he says that you look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is nur, is light. So he's created from light. Or if you look at the Khawarij, they say that you have to kill all the non-believers, wherever they are. Allah said in the Quran. It's written there in the ayat. So it's written there in the ayat, but what you understand is wrong. Because if some rule is written, everybody who reads that, he will understand that rule according to what he has in his mind, what's his knowledge in his mind, what's his perspective of mind. So that just the mind of a person's understanding, his own understanding is not enough to find the guidance. You need someone to be example for you how to implement that, how to understand that. You need someone to explain when that rule is written, what is meant by that rule. What is the meaning of that sentence when it says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is nur? Or what is the meaning of that ayat when it says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kill all the non-believers wherever you find them? You have to understand that. Your understanding, if you have a wrong conclusion from that ayat, is not because ayat is wrong. That's another group, atheists, they say, oh, you see, Quran is wrong. Why? Because it says kill everybody. That's also wrong understanding. You guys didn't understand it, that's why one of you blaming the Quran that it's wrong, another one of you saying that whoever doesn't follow that ayat is wrong. Both of the sides, this side and that side is wrong. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a light, because if you have a book in front of you and you don't have light, there is no daylight, there is no artificial light. Can you read it? You cannot. Maybe you will have some, find a little bit here and there and then read some portion of it. Can you read the whole sentence with everything? No. So for you, even though your eyes are there, book is there, everything is written there, but for you to read it, you need light. So for the Quran, for us to be a means of guidance and to be able to understand that, we need the Prophet ﷺ. Because Prophet ﷺ, he, in his whole life, implemented that Quran to his own life and showed us that, look, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do. As an example, I did that, so all of you do it. That's why when the Sahaba, when the Tabi'in, when they asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha radiallahu anha, what was the akhlaq of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She said, akhlaq of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Quran. So Quran is a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the humanity, for them to find the correct path, for them to differentiate between what's right and what's wrong. But how he's going to understand that? Through the life of sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through the taking the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as an example. Because the human nature is such that we always need example. We cannot do anything by ourselves from our own side. If you want to learn how to drive a car, you go to the driving school or you find someone who can drive and you learn from him. Anything you want to do any kind of activity, you have to have a teacher. Like a doctors, if they finish their degree, they cannot start practicing. They have to go get a practical classes, which is they're gonna go to some special doctor which has a more experience, is gonna stay with him for a couple of years or whatever the requirements are. They're gonna learn whatever they learned from the book and from all the classes that they took in the college, how to implement that to the patient. And then he's going to start doing the practice. He's going to become doctor. They even put that in an international law that unless those who finish their, for example, the surgeons, unless they going to go and then take the practical classes, if they do surgery, they're going to be, if they kill someone like that, they're going to be responsible. They're going to be as if that they killed that. They're not going to say he was a doctor. He tried to help the person and then that's why he made a mistake and he killed him. Why? Because his knowledge of books and all the writings, everything, that's not sufficient. We need someone to be an example. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he sent for us an example as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as an example if we want to be successful. If we want to achieve the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we want to achieve the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we want to achieve the Jannah and live our life successfully, we need to follow the sunnah of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahaba, they implemented this to their life to the fullest extent. They did not leave out anything from the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam unless they implemented to their life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that none other prophet, their life is recorded in details. But the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is recorded in details. If you want to be a father, how should I be a father? What should I do? You look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what kind of father he was? How did he treat his children, or how did he treat his youngsters, kids? Or if you want to see what kind of husband should I be, you look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What kind of husband was he? How did he treat his wives? How did he treat Aisha radiallahu anha? If you want to, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a businessman. And he was a farmer also. He didn't do farming himself, but he had the land in Medina, in the side where in the Khaybar, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a land. So if you want to be a businessman, you have to look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life. What kind of businessman was he? How did he do his business? Or if he was a ruler. So if you have some kind of position as a ruler, or you have a head of manager of some company, you want to see how you should be as a ruler, what you should do. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a ruler. He ruled Medina, city of Medina. Later on, he ruled the whole Arabic peninsula. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that we have no excuse not to apply the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our life. Everything is there nowadays in our generation. Allah made it so easy that if you want to find out any sunnah, just go to the internet, just type it. It's going to be there. They're going to give you hadith, they're going to give you even all the different hadiths concerning to that same matter. So that's why it's very important for us that if you want to be successful in our life, if we want to be successful as a believer, as a mu'min, and we want to achieve the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and die, when we die, to be honored by angels and being able to go to Jannah, achieving all the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there is only one way. There is no other way. Anything that's been by the mind of a people, anything that's been included in the religion is called bid'ah. The person, if he makes up something from his own side and then start doing it thinking that he's going to get reward, contrary to that, he's going to get sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly mentioned all the ayats and the hadiths, and the ulama, they have explained everything. For every minor details they have clarified it. You have to follow that. So the path, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the achievement to Jannah, the path to Jannah is only through taking the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a role model for us. The meaning of the ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a great example for him, meaning he's a role model. We should not follow anybody else, anything else, and we should not be scared of following the Sunnah. Inshallah, with the one example I'm going to finish, that the Huzaifa bin Yaman, in the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, he was sent to Persia. Persia that time was a king, Kisra. And Huzaifa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu was over there. They put a dasturkhan, they were feasting and they give food. He was eating the food and food fell from his hand. And there was the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was his habit that whenever food falls from his hand, he used to pick it up. If there is anything wrong, like something stick in there, he used to take it off, or just blow it off and then eat it. He will never say, oh, it fell off from my hand, let it just go to the garbage. So Huzaifa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu did the same thing. He was eating with the Persians, with the Persian kings and all those government people, and the food fell from his hand on the floor. He picked up, he removed dust, and then he ate it. So the person next to him, he said that, oh, this is contrary to our ethics. We don't do like that. People are going to make fun of you. It's against our ethics. So that time, Huzaifa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu, he said beautiful thing. He said, أَأَتْرُكُ سُنَّةَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ لِهَؤُلَاءِ الْحُمْقَى. Am I going to leave the sunnah of Rasulullah because of these foolish people? Whatever you say that it's an ethics, it's a rule, it's a habit, it's this, you made it up yourself. What Rasulullah did was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He clearly mentioned that لَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Whatever Rasulullah did is not because he wanted to do it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the wahi on him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to do that. Whatever the way Rasulullah dressed, whatever the way he looked, whatever the way he did certain actions, is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was pleased to do it in that way. So that's why Huzaifa bin Yaman radiallahu anhu said that, I'm not going to leave the sunnah of Rasulullah. I'm not going to leave the rule that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established because of the rule that this foolish people, this humqa, this ahmaqs, they established. And then he ate it. So now tell me, who was successful? Was the Kisra successful or the Huzaifa bin Yaman was successful in the history? That was the last king of Persia. After that, there was no king in Persia. There was no Kisra in the history of Kisra. Because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when this Kisra going to be killed, there will be no Kisra afterward. And the Sahaba, they killed him. And the Huzaifa bin Yaman was among them. And there were no other king. So Huzaifa bin Yaman was the successful until the day of Akhirah. In the day of Akhirah, and that king who made up his own ethics and own rules, his just name is existing in the history. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to establish the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our life.